हाय, वेलकम टू ज्यूरिसेज अकेडमीज यूट्यूब चैनल। आज के वीडियो में हम बात करने वाले हैं कि अगर आप क्लैट पीजी 2024 के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं तो उसमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ के सब्जेक्ट को कैसे स्टार्ट करना है एंड व्हाट आर द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग्स टू कीप इनटू माइंड बिफोर स्टार्टिंग योर प्रिपरेशन पर्टिकुलरली फॉर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ। Now, before we move further, we have a quick announcement. We are organizing a free Zoom webinar on top non-NLU colleges and law exams in India. So if you're interested, do check it out. It's on 13th January 2023 between 7 to 9 p.m. The registration is absolutely free. हाँ, तो अब हम आते हैं वीडियो पे और बात करते हैं कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ विच इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट, इसको कैसे डील करना चाहिए फॉर द पर्पसेस ऑफ LLM entrance exams, but more particularly for the CLAT PG examination. So before we start, सबसे पहले we will be talking about कि what is the importance of constitutional law. जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि CLAT PG का सिलेबस बहुत ही वास्ट है and there are at least 15 topics and 15 subjects in this particular exam. So obviously all subjects do not carry the same weightage. तो क्योंकि हर सब्जेक्ट का एक अपना खुद का weightage है depending on how important it is for the exam. Let's first see why is constitutional law so important. So constitutional law has been consistently tested in significant amounts in the CLAT PG examination. Especially अगर आप 2020 से पेपर देखें तो in all the 4 years they have tested your knowledge of constitutional law. Sometimes they have asked questions solely on constitutional law. They have given passages on that. And many times they have clubbed these questions with, let's say, criminal law or your understanding of administrative law, or in general, your understanding of taxation with the constitutional law principles. So one thing is certain, that constitutional law will be heavily tested in the CLAT PG examination. It could be directly tested or it could also be indirectly tested in the sense that it can be clubbed with other exams. So it is definitely very important because it carries a very heavy weightage for CLAT PG examination. Not only that, but this is one of the most important subject for all LLM entrance exams. तो अगर आप किसी और एग्जाम के लिए भी प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं तो उसमें भी constitutional law will definitely be asked. So no doubt, constitutional law is one of the most important subjects so far as LLM entrance exams go. अब हम बात करते हैं कि जब आप constitutional law पढ़ें तो what are the focus areas for it? कि when you are reading it from the perspective of a competitive exam such as CLAT PG, then what should you be really focusing upon? Because this will change and this will depend on the requirements of that competitive exam that we are talking about. So CLAT PG के केस में you should be focusing on acquiring a conceptual clarity of important parts of the BEAR Act. So of course, constitutional law as a whole is very relevant, but there are certain parts of the BEAR Act which are more important than, let's say, some other parts like panchayats or municipalities or the miscellaneous part. So conceptual clarity is important, but you also have to be able to distinguish what are the important and the non-important parts. Then you need to focus on understanding the chronological development of concepts through cases. जिसका मतलब ये है कि आपकी लैंडमार्क केसेस और रीसेंट केस लॉज की अंडरस्टैंडिंग अच्छी होनी चाहिए, नॉट इन द सेंस दैट यू शुड नो एवरीथिंग अबाउट दोस केस लॉज, बट यू शुड नो इनफ अबाउट द फैक्ट्स एंड द फाइंडिंग्स ऑफ दोस केसेस एंड हाउ आर दे रेलेवेंट टू दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोविजन. Lastly, for this particular exam, memorizing important articles and the content is also relevant so far as constitutional law is concerned. तो ऐसा कई सारे एग्जाम्स में होता है जहां पे आपसे सेक्शन नंबर्स या आर्टिकल नंबर्स नहीं पूछे जाएंगे, लेकिन so far as constitutional law is concerned, there are a few important articles, particularly so far as fundamental rights, TPSPs, fundamental duties को, जिनके आपको आर्टिकल नंबर्स भी याद करने होंगे. So these are the 3 important focus areas for CLAT PG examination. Now let's talk about the sources for this exam. Where exactly should you read all this stuff from? So of course, for any law subject, the first and the most important source is the BEAR Act. So in this case also, BEAR Act holds the most importance because whatever you're going to read apart from the BEAR Act will be based on your understanding of the BEAR Act. So hands down, BEAR Act will be your first and the most important source for constitutional law. Additionally, you should rely on any one LLM guide or any concise notes that you can find either of a coaching or of your own notes that you might have prepared during your LLB years. So you can rely on either of those things. for supplementing your knowledge of the Bare Act, because we have seen that even in the Bare Act, there are a lot of developments that are not covered. So for example, the landmark cases or any doctrines that might have been developed or any other developments which can be important. So to cover all this information, you should refer to any one LLM guide or any good notes that you can find. Lastly, you should avoid referring to any commentaries for CLAT PG preparation. For competitive exams, commentaries are not that helpful for multiple reasons. One, because they may not be testing such in-depth knowledge in those exams. Secondly, it does not matter how much you read. What matters is how much you're able to retain. So reading bulky commentaries will not really be helpful for the preparation of competitive exams, particularly CLAT PG. Now let's come to the next issue. What are the important topics in constitutional law? So I'm going to just give you a list of important topics that you need to cover for CLAT PG as well as for any other exam that you might be preparing. So you can also take screenshots of this. We have preamble, जिसमें से आपको amendments के बारे में पता होना चाहिए, जो preamble में terms used हैं उनके meanings पता होने चाहिए. Power of amendment under Article 368 you should be aware of. Citizenship उतना डिटेल में नहीं, बट हाँ, ways to acquire citizenship, कितने टाइप की citizenship होती है और पार्लियामेंट की क्या पावर है with respect to regulating citizenship. Then of course the most important part is fundamental rights, जिसकी आपको in depth understanding होनी चाहिए. Then we have DPSPs and fundamental duties, जिसमें it is very important to memorize article numbers as well, because content wise they do not really have much for you to understand. So memorizing article numbers becomes really important. Then of course we need to know about the executive, जहाँ पे आपको offices of president, vice president, governor, council of ministers, इनके election removal के बारे में you should have a working knowledge. Then you have judiciary, जहाँ पे आपको supreme court और high court की jurisdiction और powers के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. Then legislature में composition, removal of members, suspension of members, parliamentary privilege, anti-defection law. Then coming to legislative procedure, जहाँ पे आपको पता होना चाहिए कि laws कैसे बनते हैं, what is the difference between money bills and ordinary bills. Then you need to know about the ordinance making power of the president and the governor. Administration of union territories आपको generally पता होना चाहिए, लेकिन जो union territory दिल्ली की है, NCT दिल्ली, उसका particularly administration you should be aware of. Then you have distribution of legislative power, जहाँ पे 7th schedule will become very important. And lastly, types of emergency. So these are some of the most important areas which are repeatedly tested not only in CLAT PG but many other LLM entrance exams. अब हम बात करते हैं how to start your preparation. Now we have all the important information that we need to have. So let's see how should you start with it. So आपको सबसे पहले start करना चाहिए Bare Act से. You should cover it at least chapter wise. So for example, if you're reading the preamble, you should read the preamble and you should read the notes of the preamble as in क्या क्या amendment हुए, जो इसमें terms use हुए हैं, उनकी मतलब क्या है, right? So basically starting with the Bare Act topic wise and referring one good source side by side for notes for every topic is very important. Thirdly, you should memorize landmark cases and amendments for every topic you cover. So for example, if you're reading fundamental rights and if you're reading articles 14, 15 and 16 which deal with the concept of equality and reservation, so while reading it from the Bare Act, you should also familiarize yourself with the landmark cases on that point and the important amendments that have happened. So doing this will really cover the topic entirely from the Bare Act as well as from one good source. So this brings us to the end of our video. But before that, let's also quickly see कि what are the previously tested areas. कि पहले के जो papers हैं 2020 से लेके 2024 तक, उसमें उन्होंने कौन कौन से areas आपके test किए हैं. So generally बहुत सारे questions आए हैं judicial appointments से. Fundamental rights are obviously very very important, especially articles 14, 19, 20, 21 and right to religion under 25 and 26. DPSP से भी articles के questions आते हैं. Then writ jurisdiction, public interest litigation is important. Emergency provisions and power of judicial review. So roughly these are the areas that have been tested in the last 4 years. Now we have also launched our foundation and growth hack LLM batches. The enrollment is already open. The batches have started in January. So if you're interested, do visit the website given in the link, or you can also call on the number displayed on your screens. If you like this video, please like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.